Welcome to the Jiu-Jitsu by the Train Tracks podcast, where we're bringing you a special Sunday nighttime edition. I'm your co-host, James Williams, and this is your host, Jeffrey F. Spain.
Wait. What are you doing?
What
are you doing?
No.
No.
Are we live?
I do the intro.
Oh.
I do the intro.
Sorry.
Okay?
Jesus.
Oh, my God.
I'm a rookie. Excuse me. I'm only a blue belt. I don't know what I'm doing just some of the time. I got like a 20% chance of getting it right now.
I actually had the thought that I was going to let you do the intro, and I changed my mind while I was driving over here, but you just took it upon yourself to go ahead and speak up, didn't you?
I didn't know we were live.
All right, guys. Welcome to Jiu-Jitsu by the Train Tracks. This is episode number 5. We are here to talk to you guys about 3 common excuses that people use not to train jiu-jitsu. We're going to go ahead and get into our very first one that we selected today, and that is
money.
Now that we got that out of our system.
Yeah, I feel better.
Yeah, so if it means that much to you, then you have to weigh the pros and cons of everything in your life and what it means to you, you know? And for me, I know jiu-jitsu was important enough that I wanted to treat it like it was a utility, like it was an expense.
Yeah.
So that mindset, I think, really helped me develop that, like, discipline financially early on in jiu-jitsu. You know, I can't speak for everybody in this case, but I know for me, looking at it like another utility bill or just it's a necessity.
Yeah.
You know, if you treat it like a necessity, you'll sacrifice things in order to get it.
If you look at it in the standpoint of, well, it's recreational. Well, yeah, you're not going to put as much of your effort into it, but at the same time, it could be that some people may have the wrong mentality towards it. Yeah, it's for fun. I enjoy myself, but you're really getting a lot out of it. You're getting the self-defense aspect out of it. You're getting a really good workout out of it. You're getting the opportunity, depending on how vested in it you are, you may even be able to turn it into a career. So you got to really, you figure out how to pay your cell phone.
Yeah. I mean, you're investing in yourself, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, most of the money that you pay each month goes down the toilet, really. I mean,
you either eat it or you blow it on something that a month from now you won't even remember that you bought.
Yeah, and that's super common. Everybody does it, you know. But there does come a point where you have to look at yourself and realize what you're capable of, and it becomes easier to make that decision to invest in educating yourself or your health, right, with fitness, you know, whether you're hiring, it doesn't have to be jiu-jitsu. You could hire a personal trainer.
Right.
So anytime, you know, with the question of risk versus reward, and it's the question involves investing in yourself, you should feel confident, you know, like taking those risks.
I mean, with as many different diseases and issues Americans deal with today just because of poor diet, lack of exercise, just a small investment in yourself, you can add a couple years to your life. You can reduce a lot of stress off yourself just by finding an outlet.
You can figure out how to make more money to afford jiu-jitsu,
Exactly.
you know?
Exactly.
I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do, but it all starts with you. You know, nobody is going to do it for you. And the age-old saying goes, and I'll probably say this at the end of every single excuse we go over today, but if it's important enough, you'll find a way, and if it's not, you'll find an excuse.
Yes, you're exactly right.
Okay, well, that brings us to our next excuse that people use, which I think fits in being out of shape. Like, you want to start jiu-jitsu, but you just feel like you're too out of shape. You got to run on the treadmill or lift some weights before you come in so you don't, look like a bitch on the mat.
This is my favorite one. It is absolutely hilarious. Like, man, it seems fun. I really like it. It looks like really cool, but let me lose a little weight and build up some muscle first. what do you think you're gonna do with extra muscle? Like I don't get it. That
Yeah, it's the repetitions of the technique, but it's just something that if you haven't trained or you're not, you haven't been immersed in that, you just don't understand. But even me, as a brown belt, somebody who's trained for a while, if I haven't been exercising or eating correctly, and I know like I've got like a big, sparring session or training session coming up, there's a part of me that's like, oh man. I don't know if I should go in there today. But it's all mental, it's false information that your mind tells you because you haven't made the right decisions that you don't deserve to go in there and get your butt whooped. But the truth is you do.
Jiu-Jitsu isn't intended to be the sport where you come in and dominate everybody on the mat, or maybe even keep up with everybody on the mat. It's intended to humble you. When you come in here and you want to get on the mats, you'll find like, oh yeah, I can bench press 300 pounds. Well, that's great. Guess what? We're not bench pressing today. And when you attempt to bench press this 300 pound or 250 pound guy, guess what? That's not spread the same way it is on a barbell, so it's not going to be as effective. It's just I've got a friend at work. He's guy runs marathons for fun. So he's done, I think, at least 200-mile marathons, meaning that in one setting he ran 100 miles. He's done that twice, and then he's ran a 50-mile, and then he does the 26 ones just without even preparing for fun on the weekends or something.
Wow.
But me and him got into a conversation about cardio, and the main thing that I took away from it is with that much cardio, he says like, yeah, I mean, it's I've got good cardio, but that cardio doesn't translate to everything that I do. So yeah, I can do that, but you put me in a swimming pool and I may not be able to outswim the next person just because it's a different level of cardio.
Yeah, different muscle groups are being used. You may not have the same stamina if you're changing up
right.
your movement style. Your body becomes used to the movements that you, use on the daily routine. And it is important to work out and be in good shape for jiu-jitsu, but it depends on what your goals are. Are you looking to be a competitor? If so, you have to work out a schedule of building your strength and your cardio and your flexibility around your jiu-jitsu classes and your jiu-jitsu sparrings.
Jiu-jitsu will give you exactly what you're looking for. So if you are in jiu-jitsu and, hey, I want a little bit of cardio, I want a little bit of fun, I want a little bit of strength, and self-defense, jiu-jitsu will give you all of that. If you want to take it a step further, then you start adding the other parts of it. Or you invest more in one and focus more heavily on it, and it may give you everything you're looking for.
How competitive are you, right? That's what the question is.
Yeah.
Because you can come into class and have fun and learn, and there's some people you can beat and some people who beat you if you're the type that sticks around for sparring.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of people that don't spar. And those people don't necessarily need to be hauling weight in the gym.
No.
It's just so that they can come in here and try to outmuscle another guy, I mean.
Yeah. It's interesting. I've told you plenty of times, before I started doing this, I lift weights for maybe a year. I got up to 248 and pretty big size, mostly muscle, couldn't turn to look around behind me without turning my whole body. And it was great. I could bench press 250 pretty easily, and I was like, okay, this is good. And I was thinking that this is boring as all get out. Like, yeah, I'm in my garage 2-3 hours at a time lifting weights. I mean, yeah, I look bigger, but I never got the opportunity to actually do anything with it. So I kind of felt like it was a waste of time. And Alex got to mess with me and was like, man, you got to come try it and come check it out. And so I did, and I kept trying to do both at the same time, and one day Roy was like, hey, you got to lift weights in the morning, like first thing. Like, do you need help moving the couch or something? I mean, we your friends. We'll help you if you need help. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Like, I don't know why do I need to be able to pick up 250 pounds off of my chest? It's not an everyday occurrence. And if I do, I mean, I got people around that can help with it.
Yeah, it's good to have strength, man. I think there's definitely value in how strong somebody can become, but
functional.
functional strength, yeah, I mean, yeah. No, I'm with you.
Yeah. It looks good. Showtime muscles.
Yeah.
Beach muscles.
I'm with you. I wish I did more lifting, to be honest. I'm looking to try to get in 2021, start a strength training program just to kind of supplement my jiu-jitsu training. And it's a personal choice, I'm like, I realize that it's something that I personally, I think, could benefit from. And that's a decision that every individual should make for themselves.
But like you said, supplemental.
Supplemental, right.
Something to enhance, not to prepare you for.
Yeah, and when you start jiu-jitsu, you've got to be really careful not to overdo it. So some people get the endorphins going from the exercise and the training, and they want to be here all the time.
Yeah.
Pump the brakes if this is you. Give yourself some days off in between, and you'll be able to continue enjoying your training and not feeling like it's a burden.
Yeah, ramp up to it. But circling back around, you don't have to get in shape to go do jiu-jitsu. You can get in shape doing jiu-jitsu is the main takeaway from that.
Yes. And, I think that's a good way to wrap up. And I think the third topic, which kind of connects to what we're talking about with training too much, overtraining, risking injury. This is the third common reason or excuse people give, and that is injuries.
I hurt my big toe.
Hurt your big toe, hurt your pinky, your ears got a little puffy.
I got a dislocated rib.
Somebody, you bent your knee the wrong way.
I blink too many times when I sneeze.
Yeah, you got hemorrhoids. I don't know. I mean?
Nah, some of those are legit, but for the most part, I mean, you got to learn to work around stuff.
There is such a... I say this a lot, but there is such a mental aspect to dealing with injuries that some people just cannot overcome. Yeah. And pain is a part of life. How you deal with the pain is really on you.
Yeah.
And there's different ways to go about it. Obviously, big pharma, not a rare topic that you hear on any podcast, people talking about using painkillers and opioids, and none of that stuff's good for you. I hope that if you're listening to this and you're in pain and you're using to try to get help or to get off of it immediately. I think there's just so many other avenues that you can take for pain that doesn't involve, heavy sedatives.
Yeah. It's easy to, again, it goes back to whatever's easiest and most comfortable for people, and us as humans, we want whatever's easiest.
A lifestyle change and a diet change is too much work.
It is. A lot of times it is, because it requires me to get off of my couch. It requires me to get out of my comfort zone. And that's what jiu-jitsu gives you. It gives you that get off your couch, do something that requires you to exert yourself.
Well, think about how long you have to be patient already, because it's almost got on, almost broke everything.
Holy shit.
That scare you? You all right, brother?
I need some opioids.
Sorry,
Are you
man.
all right?
I saw that fly, and I was like, I'm going to kill that fly. And
there's a technique to it. You got to sneak up on them.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought I was being sneaky.
Not throwing your hand in at 90 miles an hour. You got to, creep up on them.
That's pretty fast, though, right?
It was. It was a fast slap. I feel sorry for your children. If ever they have to take a shot, holy crap, thunder's going to crack. Did you at least kill him?
No, I didn't. He's somewhere. He's going to show up again.
Yeah, he will. Because they're assholes. I hate flies.
Patience. Patience, right? That's where I was getting at. So, jiu-jitsu is hard enough. It takes a lot of patience before you can get good. Injury is patience on top of patience. You know, especially if it's an injury in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So while all your training partners are busy getting better and better, you're, on your couch at home with your shoulder propped up or your knee propped up, ice, and you're waiting to get better, doing silly exercises you don't want to do just to strengthen get your leg back to normal.
Yeah.
So I could see how like the aggravation of trying to do that and the aggravation of like coming back and getting your ass kicked again.
Yeah. Going
like
back to that starter phase.
Yeah, not being where you were before you got injured.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ego deflation going
It
on,
is. Like I've seen some of our guys come in and have like a minor surgery and know that, hey, I can't get on the mats for a couple days or maybe a couple weeks, but they, in some cases, still showed up and sat and watched class, helped however they could, but use it as an opportunity. Like, okay, I may not be able to physically do it, but I can observe it and use this as an opportunity to kind of mentally internalize it before I get to physically do it again.
I mean, you should take any kind of pain or soreness very seriously. I'm not saying you should just keep training regardless of how you're feeling, but you've got to test the waters. You have to test the waters. You have to see what works, what doesn't, how you can move, how you can't move, and it has to be tested daily. And every day that you're spent really not doing anything, I think it starts working against you, because there's rest and recovery, and then there's active rest and recovery.
Yeah, it's when you compare it to like your everyday life, like you're kind of starting out with, you're geared to think, okay, well, I have to go to work. I have to get my kids to school. I have to eat. So even if I'm hurting, I got to find a way to do those things even still. Like you get hurt going down the steps at your house, you may go lay down in the bed, but guess what? When the sun comes up in the morning, you're going to have to get up and you're going to have to test out that leg. But one of the beauties of jiu-jitsu is when you step out on that mat, you've got something that most martial arts don't have. You have the opportunity to tap. So if it starts to hurt, or if someone's grabbing, or it's in a precarious position, you can just as easily say, hey, I'm tapping, and we can reset, or I can try it out and see how it feels. If it doesn't go the way that I feel comfortable with, I can step out for the night and watch the rest of the class or whatever needs to happen. But you got to test it.
Yeah, and you have to have self-control when you're testing it. Don't test it by going 100% and balls to the wall with your partners.
Right, because your partner is going to go balls back.
And you're not going to know what's going on. You're not going to know how you're moving your body, because all you're focused on is winning.
Yep.
And the reality is you have to completely change your strategy sometimes. And sometimes that strategy is just not going to work because of the sudden change that you've had to make because of the injury. Yeah. You're going to have to take losses. You're going to have to feel feeble. I mean, everybody goes through it that trains this stuff, and how you deal with it. Again, that's what really kind of brings out the people that stick around versus the people that, this is just too hard.
Yeah, it's that ego monster again.
And it's not for everybody. At the end of the day, we call these excuses to not train, but there are going to be some people that just aren't cut out to train jiu-jitsu, and that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, everybody can't play the guitar.
Yeah, it is what it is. But we are here to help sway your opinion if you had ever had a desire to train jiu-jitsu.
Or have ever trained.
Yeah, or have ever trained and were wondering about these things, or maybe people don't ever talk about them but so much. But that's part of the reason that James and I have gotten together to discuss these topics. We want to give you guys some truth, some realness behind what we do here.
Some cough syrup.
Yeah, and some humble pie, because, even though as a beginner and a white belt, you're dished a lot of humble pie early on, it doesn't stop even at the later belts. There's always going to be a guy who's bigger, better. There's always going to be a visitor, or you're going to go somewhere and, you're going to do tournaments. You'll win some, you'll lose some. But we love jiu-jitsu. That's the message here.
Yeah, it's given me confidence in different situations. It's given me the ability to know that in the worst situations at my job, hey, all I got to do is breathe. Just sit back, take a moment. I don't have to have an answer or response right now. Yeah, I know what you're wanting is probably urgent for you, but it's not an emergency for me. So I can give it a moment, and I don't have to even answer you. I can tell you, okay, give me a moment and I'll come back to you.
Yeah, how much control do you have over yourself? You know, I'd have no control over what James decides to say or do. I have no control over what happens in the world or in politics or in the economy.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do have control over is my own actions, my own decisions, how I treat people, how I approach my training, and
how you decide to respond.
Exactly.
I mean, I got 100% responsibility of me and my actions and how I decide or choose to react or respond to anything. We all do. I mean, it's one of the few powers that everybody in the world has equally. And depending on what you decide to do with it, you either keep that control to yourself or you hand that control over to someone else and you let them move you around like a marionette puppet or whatever it's called. Mariachi puppet?
Mariachi puppet?
Marriott?
Marriott?
Is that a club?
That's a hotel, I
That's
think.
a hotel?
Or a motel.
Or is it an inn?
Come on down to the Marriott. We got your puppets for sale. Anywho, guys, that is going to conclude our topics of 3 common ways that people use the excuse to not train. Listen, if you want to train, come train, man. We're here. Come on down. 149 South Maple Street, Suite A. There's a big black Profectus Jiu-Jitsu bus out front. What are you laughing at, man? You didn't know where I was going with that.
I did not know you were going.
You
All I heard
known.
was big black.
We're at the jiu-jitsu school. There's a black bus outside.
All I heard was big black. I was like,
what
is happening?
This is a family show, okay?
Yeah, my family.
This is a family show. My family, apparently. All right. Well, peace out, guys. Appreciate you.
Thanks for showing up. Subscribe. Click the bell.
Good.
Yeah, subscribe and click the bell.
Do what he said.
Because that's what you say. So you get a notification every time the new video drops.
You can do the beginning and the ending.
What?
Yeah.
Today?
Yeah, just today.
Just today.
Since you hit all the core things that I was supposed to do.